Good morning, lovely people. How are you all doing today? I do hope you're well. I'm carrying on, as you can see, starting with the bags because they all got pulled out the other day, and then I'm going to go into that side section that's got 8 shelving sections. Just before I do though, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Last night I suddenly felt a bit like, oh God, the prospect of all of this. It's like I was saying in that previous video, in doing all this, I'm actually making more mess than I'm clearing. And I have to keep reminding myself that's only temporary. It's going to get messier before it gets more tidy. So, I'm going to plough on. Last night I was really feeling like, oh, just put everything away, just forget it. But that's not going to do it, is it? Putting it all away again is not going to get the job done. And I have promised myself that by the end of December, everything will be sorted. Literally every single nook and cranny of my little home here is going to be looked at, either keep something, give it to charity, or set it in a pile to sell. The pile to sell, it's going to be so hard. I had a quick sneaky peek last night at that trunk under the bed. And 2 seconds later I shut it and put it back, and I thought, I can't bear it. It may take me a while to get to that. That is going to be a tricky one. Anyway, so, but I was also reminding myself of how well worth this is doing, because it's a really, really simple thing, a simple example. Where I've created that shelf on my bookcase in the alcove in order to put shop stock books. In the last week or so, I've had a couple of sales that have included the books. Oh, and it was just so easy. Just walk over to the shelf, select the book that's been ordered, pass it up, get it sent. Brilliant, so easy. Instead of having to dive under the bed, drag out a box, open it, unpack it to find that one book, repack the whole thing, close it up, put it back under. Anyway, so yeah, I am reminding myself that this is all well worth it. And you know, I am feeling lighter for it, so I just have to keep reminding myself of that. And I think I'm going to slightly put off the under the bed trunk of clothes for now, but I'm determined this bit now, get rattled through this morning, and before I can change my mind and think too much about anything, I'm going to get it all off to a charity shop or a donation hub, because just going to get it gone. And then the other thing I did last night, just very quickly, is I don't really have any storage in the bathroom. I've got there's some open shelves, I keep a few bits on, but sort of next to my sink, I've got a basket. I love my baskets. And I just chuck into that basket sort of duplicates or excess of anything. And so, for instance, I get given lots of soap, which I love because I love my handmade soaps. So they'll go in there whilst I've got, have one at the bathtub, one on the hand basin. When one runs out, whoop, grab it, yay, brilliant. But there are other things I end up with which have gone in that basket that have remained kind of forgotten about, like body lotions and potions that maybe I get given for Christmas or birthdays. I don't generally use shop bought stuff, body lotion, because I make my own. I make my calendula oil and my calendula balm. But of course this year, because of that extended stay down at Auntie Teapot's, and then I came back and I had chicken pox, so I had to quarantine at home for 2 weeks. I ended up being away from the garden. It was nearly 4 weeks. And when I managed to get back, so much of my calendula had gone over. I rescued a little bit, but I was thinking, there's not enough. I haven't harvested enough for a year's worth of body beauty. That was one thing. But also, I'd completely run out of oil to macerate the petals in. And I was thinking, oh, I could really do without the expense of buying any oil at the moment. Also, it's a time thing, isn't it? It's like, when have I got time to be in the kitchen making body balms, all that. But of course, I'd forgotten about my basket. So I went through it, had a good sort out, and I've got enough pots and like sort of little pots or tubes, whatever, of body lotions. I reckon there's enough in there to last me about 6 months. So that's great. I will use them up. They're free, as it were. Well, no, they are free. So I'll use them up. It's one less thing to pack when I move, but also it just saves me having to think about buying oil. It saves me having to think about finding time to make any, of my own body balms. It's just a big tick. That basket is sorted through. I know what I've got. Brilliant. That'll see me through. I'll use it all up. Don't have to pack it. Yay! So as you're going through your declutter, it's another thing that you might think about doing is you might have bits in the bedroom, you might have some in a shower room, you might have some in the bathroom. Gather together all your beauty or sort of hygiene products, gather them all together in one place, go through them all, check expiry dates. I keep a little first aid kit in the bathroom, and that sort of bits and bobs. So all of that stuff was still in date. So I've got insect bite, sting relief, antihistamine cream, that was all in date. The one thing that was in there that was out of date, so I've chucked, was some suntan or sun cream, sunscreen. And with something like, if it was just body lotion and it was out of date, I might still use it if it didn't smell funky. But with something like sunscreen, if it's gone out of date, I'm not going to risk using it. My skin is too precious to expose with possibly not good cream. Anyway, good. That was little notes of what I wanted to say. So let's crack into this today. I've got all my bags here, and I sort of arranged it. Oh, also, so I did the shoes, right? And then after I finished filming and I went off to edit all that, and then I came back and thought, right, get all the bags out, let's make another video this afternoon. And I just ran out of energy for filming at that point. I had other stuff to do. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What I'd done is I pulled all my bags out, so that lift up section at the top had some, underneath my clothes had some, and in amongst them I found another pair of shoes. Oh, my bad. These are gorgeous. Another pair of sight healers. I bought these for a wedding in Paris. I remember it so well. I had them as beautiful red frock for it. I was doing a proper Jessica Rabbit. Anyway, I think these need to be sold. I think that's a bit too much of a heel. But yeah, I found another pair of shoes. I think that's the last pair. Also, stuff down the back of the wardrobe. I don't know if you can make out these two. Oh, they've got tangled up. Old parasols. Yes, once upon a time when I was a pretentious teenager, I did used to use Edwardian parasols as I was out and about. But I think, I don't know, I'll have a look later. That one is silk, that one's cotton, that one's got a lovely wooden handle, that one's got a lovely little finial on the end. I don't know whether the cloth is still intact. So I'll open them up, have a look, but I certainly don't need these anymore. So they can go as well. Bags. So I've got 2 backpacks. I don't need 2 backpacks. That was my one for work. That's my one for the garden. So I put my camera and bits and bobs in it to take my lunch. Obviously I take the granny trolley too. I'm not getting rid of the granny trolley. But this is, lunch, camera, notebook, bits and pieces. It's slightly bigger. My mum gave me this. She got it free when she went on a coach holiday. So I'm going to keep that because it's big and sturdy. But I really don't need a second one. So there's probably little bits in the pockets. I'll check your pockets. Check. including clothes. Check your pockets before you take things to charity. Then I've got, in terms of cloth bags, I've got I'm Not a Plastic bag. This, it was Anya Hindmarch, wasn't it? This this was produced about 10 years or so ago, and there was just this massive furore of everyone. It was £5, but everyone wanted to buy it as a kind of designer bag, which kind of defeats the point. I didn't buy it in the furore. I had it second hand later, but I really don't need it. That can go. This is a cute little handbag for autumn, velvet with, I've got my hair on it, there's hair on everything. It's a little velvet bag with appliqué flowers and bits and pieces. It's really cute. It's okay on the inside. There are a couple of ink stains. That's the thing when you use a fountain pen, you sometimes leak. But I don't need it. I really don't need it. By way of handbags, I've got enough. Larger, smarter handbags. That's the beautiful one my sister gave me. It's all books, book titles. It's sort of, again, they're sort of appliqued on, almost 3D. She gave me this for Christmas before we went to France in the summer. And yes, it was my little bag for my summer in France. I'm never getting rid of this. It's so special. I don't use it a huge amount. I want to keep it nice, but yeah, that's a keeper, not going anywhere. In terms of other bigger handbags, a sort of day bag, is my good old Cath Kidston day bag. I've had it, I can't even remember how long I've had it. I've had it for ages, but it's a really good size if I'm out for the day, and it's, not a garden day, but, so I'm going into town to meet friends. I can fit in there all my ordinary gubbins, purse, phone, keys, notebook, pen, that sort of thing. Plus it's big enough for me to fit in 2 bottles of water, a book. You get the idea. So that's a really useful size, and not getting rid of it. And it's such a great kind of knockabout bag because it's the oilcloth, I can wipe it, really sturdy handles. So in a way, these two are sort of doubling up, although this is much slimmer, I wouldn't get as much in it. That's a really posh, it's going to be my only posh bag I keep. But that's a nice bag, but it's still quite robust and knockabout. Fab. I'm going to move in a bit closer, now I can. Oopla. I also have, bags never look so good when they're empty, do they? They always look a bit floppy. And I've also got this one. It's a fake Mulberry. A friend of mine has connections in India and goes backwards and forwards a lot. And he knows a maker over there who can make any fake. Had this made for me. Now, I'm kind of struggling with the idea of parting with it, but, it doesn't kind of go with any of the clothes I wear these days. I'm going to have a think about this, but I might let it go. I enjoyed it. I used it a lot, but I haven't used it in 5-6 years, and that kind of says everything, doesn't it? I would only be keeping it out of sentiment for the friend who had it made for me. But that was, oh crikey, that's 20 years ago. So I've used it loads, and, he's still in here and in here. I don't necessarily, I think it can go. I may hold off from taking that to the charity shop today, just in case I change my mind. I don't think I will, but, So this is my every single day bag, my lovely little satchel, beat up. I've always used one of these kind of like crossbody type satchel for, it just goes, literally every time I go out of the door, it comes with me. It's that perfect size for a notebook, a pen, you get the idea now. Purse, keys, mask, little tube of hand cream sometimes, what have you. It's great. I've had it for ages. It is getting a little bit sad on the inside. When my previous one was on its last legs, I spent ages looking for this. This is made from recycled sofa leather, so old sofas that, you know, become decrepit. This is all recycled. But it took me ages to find, and I was starting to get a bit paranoid that I wouldn't get another bag. So obviously I'm keeping that, but bearing in mind that it's on its last legs, I've actually got two. I have, you know, like I was saying the other day about I don't impulse buy, but I kind of clock if I need something. I think, oh yeah, I could do with that thing. I don't need it right now, but if I see it while I'm out and about, I can get it. So with this bag, I've ended up with two more little crossbody bags. They're both, again, they're Kath Kidson. I mean, she's gone a bit passé now, hasn't she? I'm not fussed. It's just about having that right size of bag that can sing across in front. This one was quite cheap because there's a bit of a mark there. And inside, I don't think it's not got as many pockets as my one that I've been using forever, and I don't think it's quite as big. But this one, yeah, this one's going to be perfect for when my little satchel dies. So I'm keeping both of those. It's not something I normally do in terms of, oh, I've got 6 of something, I'll hang on to them all because when one wears out. I haven't done that with pretty much anything else. But it was purely because my little bag that I use now is so hard to find the right sort of size and Charity shop finds less than a £5 each, definitely less than a £5 each. I wouldn't pay more than a £5. So yeah, I picked them up as I've gone along. And also, they're not too big to store. Then, the rest of these, let's count. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and hang on a second. Yeah. 7 cotton shopping bags and my knitted shopping bag. That was Catherine's mum did that. I've got 8 cotton shopping bags. Why do you need so many cotton shopping bags? Well, you know what? They're pretty much, well, this one comes out with me every day. If I'm out, if I go to the post office, it comes with me with that one in the bottom of it. You know, it's this thing of when I go out, I'm not planning to shop necessarily, but back to that carpe diem thing, if I happen to be out and I see something that I need that's perfect and a good price, I'll grab it. So I always have a shopping bag with me. I haven't used a plastic shopping bag in probably decades. That one lives in the bottom of my allotment bag. Same reason, if I'm on my way home from the allotment, if my granny trolley is packed full of stuff and I see something, I've got a spare bag with me, great. Likewise that normally lives down at the shed for the same reason. And then the others, or you could say, oh, you don't need all the others. But, you know, there are sometimes, say if I'm popping over to visit, like if I pop over to see Richard and Paul and I'm taking bits over with me, I might be taking some bottles of wine and some Tupperware things of food, what have you. Suddenly I need 3 more bags. So yeah, they're always on hand. This one lives on the back of the kitchen door with all the others in it. It just means, you know, if they're always to hand, if that, you know, if I can grab one, it just removes that need to accidentally buy a plastic one when we're out and about. You know, I've so many friends say, oh, but I always forget to take a bag out with me when I go shopping. If you know you're going shopping, take your bags out with you. Why, you know, find, some of these are really quite little. Put one in one of your coat pockets. Whatever it is, your handbag. If we all take some sort of bag out with us, don't we? Well, us women do. I think not necessarily with blokes. You might put everything in your pockets, but whenever you go out the house, you're going to have a bag with you, aren't you? For your phone, your wallet, your keys, da-da. Shove a little cotton bag in there too, so that you're never caught out. Right, good, bags. That has whittled it down a bit. They can be put away. So that's 4 bags that can go to charity. Another pair of shoes to go. Now, oy vey, I've started to put it on the bed. Let me show you. Right. Well, this is the contents of the top 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves. And you can see how each shelf has splurged out so much stuff because they are quite deep. So yeah, let's get stuck in. I'm not going to take you through all of it, but I'm going to do a couple of highlights that I think might be useful for you all too. So yeah, let's have a sit on the bed and get stuck in. Right, quick note on undergarments, because I've got all my undergarments and stuff here. I would say that they're one of the things that's probably least suitable for rehoming. I've got a few vintage pieces, sort of 1920s, 1930s pieces, which I will sell because there are other people out there who I'm sure are like I was 30 years ago, who are collectors of those things, who like to wear them. You know, I used to make a lot of my own clothes, 20s, 30s style. Yeah, have the undies to match, brilliant. So that is one exception. But generally speaking, I think undergarments, no. Apart from if they're still in good condition. These are that I've got. You know, I was kind of talking about this the other day about how, you know, once upon a time in the glamour days when all my undies were matching and pretty. These days, no, practical. So there's all sorts of places that would really like to have your bras. Go online. There are so many charities, etc., who specifically want bras. The ones I'm going to get rid of today, I'm going to take these to that donation hub I was talking about, because it's something that had been mentioned in a group, a Facebook, my local area Facebook group recently about bras. So yeah, they can all go there, but knickers, you know, even my fanciest of fancy pants, they'll just, they'll go in landfill, unfortunately, but it's one of the only things that will. Now, one of the big chunks here, let me move those. I'm not going to go through all of this with you, but I'm going to show you this because, I mean, for goodness sakes, look, I just pulled out at the back of one of my cupboards. I've got in here, Simpsons, stethoscope. You can tell I was a paediatric nurse, can't you? So there's a stethoscope in there. Here's another stethoscope. In this bag here, I've got my manual sphygmo manometer. Easy for me to say. I will keep my sphygmo manometer because even though it's tricky to do it on oneself, I'm really good at it. Practiced and practiced and practiced on myself. So that I would know what it felt like and I wouldn't ever hurt a kid. Well, try not to. So I'll keep my sphig, I'll keep my Simpsons stethoscope just because that is sentimental to me, but I don't need to keep this plain black stethoscope. That can go. I told you, random stuff in the back of these cupboards. Now all of this pile, it's all seasonal stuff, and again it gets shoved into the back of one of those cubbies, and it gets to this time of year and I sort of put my hand in and fish around because I can feel I need my gloves, I need a hat, what have you. But also in this I've got summer seasonal stuff. So like the other day I was mentioning, so here this is my proper swimsuit. I like it because it's got almost legs. It just covers everything up and holds everything in nicely. So with a little bit so I can feel the water on my back. So I've got my two. I have two. I have it in pink as well. Because the thing is, it's, you know, if you go for a swim in the morning and then you fancy another swim in the afternoon, you don't want to put a wetsuit on, do you? So I've got two. They're not going anywhere because, as I said the other day, I have every intention of doing some wild swimming again at some point. But, where's the bottom? Do you remember I was saying about having bikinis? Oh my God, this is like, there's nothing of it. Look. I mean, that's it. That's the back of the bikini. Oh my goodness. So this is, the make is Exotica from Brazil. Arriba. I mean, it's cute, really cute. But, I mean, seriously skimpy. There was a lady who, where the bookshop was in South Kensington, Gloucester Road, there was a lady who opened this little Exotica shop in sort of like a little arcade of shops next to the tube station. So it's a tiny, tiny, weeny little shop. What are you going to sell in a tiny, weeny shop? Tiny, weeny bikinis and undies. So it was fantastically expensive. It was a real, real treat. Do you know what it was? I was going on holiday. This was in 2004, and going to Greece for a few weeks, but I was going with a new boyfriend. So obviously I wanted to impress. I mean, I did in those days. I was much slimmer, much more athletic, and anyway, yeah, I spent way too much. I'm never wearing that again, ever. So I think, I don't know, having just said about not passing undies on, I think I will put that in the charity shop and they can make their decision. Here's another one. Oh, a little halter top one. Yeah, so I'm going to go through the seasonal stuff. Stripy swimsuit with a little skirt. Oh, how cute's that? That is quite cute. Don't need it though. That can go. Also, in that kind of seasonal stuff, I've got sarongs. Lovely little silky sarong. I don't wear sarongs anymore. I mean, this was going back to a time when, if I was going on holiday, I would literally pack a pair of trainers or something good and stout to walk in, cycle in, what have you. But otherwise, it would be a couple of bikinis, a pair of shorts and a couple of sarongs, and I'm done. I'm done for my holes. Brilliant. They can all go. So I think that's all the summer stuff. Oh, it's another proper swimming costume. But this one, it doesn't have legs. I'm just more confident in my long ones with the slight legs in these days, so that can go. You know, proper swimsuits, they're not cheap. Bikini, any kind of swimwear, it's not cheap, is it? So imagine if I can take this to a charity shop and someone's maybe thinking of a New Year's resolution to start swimming, to get fit again, they might be delighted to have that for a few quid instead of, you know, buying a new one for 30 quid. Yay! Oh, another bikini. Oh my goodness, this one's a bit garish. The thing is, because I've got this olive skin, I do tan. So these garish colours, yeah, they didn't look too bad. Tiny. I mean, all of them, there's nothing at the sides apart from a couple of bows. Body confidence once upon a time. Right, and then that leaves me, this is good, this is why I want to do go through it sort of seasonal. Oh, fantastic! I've been wondering where these were for ages. That's thermals. That's thermal long johns. You see, this is why it's really good to go through things. Brilliant. When I was working, nursing, I would be at the bus stop at, what time did I used to go for my bus? About 5:45 in the morning. So in the winter, you know, it's dark, it'd be freezing cold. I mean, horribly cold. And sometimes I'd end up waiting for a bus for 20 minutes, just miserable, no protection. Anyway, so I bought thermals for wearing under my other clothes for commuting to work in the winter. But of course, realised that also for the garden, they're really great. So right now, I get into the territory of, and I can see that there is one missing. Oh no, there it is. Winter hats. So I've got my favourite old, this is my little Cath Kidston Tam O'Shanter with the Stanley dog. I love that. Absolutely adore it, so I'm going to keep that. But, oh, I was looking for that as well. That's a good little, I know it looks really manky, but it's a handy little beanie. It's really tiny. I can sort of squish it into a pocket or into a bag or whatever. So if I go out and I think, oh, it's not cold enough for a hat, is it going to get colder? Shove that in my bag. So that's really handy just for being little. Another beanie type hat. I think this is another from my favourite eco people. Do you remember the other day I was saying with that dress, it's by Brain Tree. Though I love their stuff because it's all organic hemp, organic bamboo, really good kind of ethics behind everything. I don't really need it though. Oh no, let's do this because it's in a similar thing. Another little beret type thing. I've got my Cath Kidston beret, Tam O'Shanter. I don't need another one. That can go. That's my go pile, isn't it? That's my go pile. This is fab. You will have seen me wearing this loads in winter videos. It's great because it comes down over my ears and it's got this gorgeous, almost velveteen lining. I will keep this because the little beanie, my little Cath Kidston Tam O'Shanter, they're great, but if it's a really foul day and I need to be out, this is your one. And it's from Norway. You see there. You know, if anyone knows about making winter gear, it's going to be the Norwegians. The only thing with this though is if I'm filming I have to kind of lift the flap up because it muffles my hearing. So that can stay. And then, oh, I don't know. I don't need it. I've got this one. Look, it's my Pixie Hat. Again, this goes back to my nursing days. You know, when you're a paediatric nurse arriving on the ward or leaving the ward, obviously when it's winter you have to arrive in a Pixie Hat, don't you? But I think if I take that to the charity shop now, someone would love that, wouldn't they, for Christmas or for this kind of time of year. So yeah, it can go. I've had great fun with it. I think I had it on in a couple of videos, but yeah, let someone else have the fun. And then that leaves me with scarves. Too many scarves. Oh, I love this one though. So I will have a proper sort of those in a sec. Then gloves. I've got my two, there's a pair over here. My beautiful, these were all hand knitted. I've got those lovely ones. Do you remember who you are? And another pair that are fingerless. They're really useful to have in the garden. I can't bear having cold hands. Really, really hate it. But sometimes if I'm at the garden, I need to do, like if I'm doing some seeds, like sweet pea seeds in January, I need my fingers. So these are perfect. These are staying. These were from my mum. She didn't knit them, but was it last year, a couple of years ago? I haven't worn them. And you know what? It's back to that same old thing, isn't it? I have a pair that I wear all the time and I love them. I haven't worn these, and there's someone out there who could do with a pair of gloves, so I'm going to donate them. Then I have my pairs. Oh, that, I think they've got a hole, I will check. But I've got 2 pairs which have fingers. I'm going to keep both. Simple reason, when we get into winter, I wear gloves pretty much all the time. I can't bear, like I said, I can't bear being cold. Sometimes I'll go to the garden and I'll have a pair on and I'll get them really grubby, but I'm not ready to do a wash, as in laundry, yet. So I have a second pair so that if I'm out and about, going to the post office, whatever it is, I've got a clean pair so I'm not handling parcels with muddy fingers. Otherwise I would say, oh, I only need 1 pair, but no, I'm definitely keeping both pairs just from that practical point of view. These ones, like I said, I think, I'll check, I have to put them on to check, but I think I was very naughty. I think I put them away with a hole in. I'll check. So that's the seasonal department done. I think that's quite a useful thing to do actually, is with, you know, with your seasonal stuff, especially if you've got a big family, is it's maybe one thing you can do fairly quickly in an afternoon, or not even like an hour, half an hour even. It's just gather together all the hats, scarves, gloves, boots, thermals, whatever it is. Have a look through. Do some of them have holes in? Do they need repairs? Don't put them back in the cupboard like I did with those grey ones 2 years ago. Get them out, get them repaired. Do they all fit everybody in the family still? You know, maybe you're at that stage where kids have got a bit bigger and you've kept the big ones' gloves to hand down to the little one, but the little one has now outgrown them. If they don't fit, pass them on. If you find you've got, you know, 17 winter hats, back to that thing we were saying in the first wardrobe video, you know, you might need a couple of smarter hats for work, for a slightly more formal occasion, you know, for a day out with friends in town. You want to be, you know, smart for your day out. You might want 1, maybe 2 for the garden, for dog walking. But really, I mean, what if I narrowed that down? I've got 3 hats there. 3 winter hats. That'll do me. So, I think I was trying to make this quicker today. I haven't even... That's the back end of 2 out of 8 shelves. So I'm going to plough on with the rest of this on my own now today. You can apply, I think, all the principles right across the board in terms of, you know, do I wear it? Do I use it? Does it need repairing? Honestly, all those things that you're finding through your process, everything that needs repairing, get it into a repair pile. And, you know, maybe if you're doing all of this stuff during the daytime, when it comes to the evening and you're sitting, relaxing, maybe watching a bit of TV, maybe watching a bit of YouTube, hint, hint, then that might be the perfect time to say, okay, I'm going to get 2 or 3 of these items repaired. And it might be that you're repairing them in order to pass them on to a charity shop still, or you're repairing them because you're jolly well going to start using them again. So yeah, anything that needs repair, do not put it back away, because it will stay in the cupboard for 2 years and you'll forget it. You know what I'm saying. Right, the rest of what I'm going to do today in terms of the rest of these shelves, I know I'm coming into a section where, and again, this is back to that thing I was mentioning the other day, clothes for work, clothes for smart occasions, clothes for the garden / dog walking, clothes for decorating. In the bottom there, because I struggle to part with anything, I think I've got enough clothes for decorating to have a different set of clothes on every day for 3 weeks. no one needs that many decorating clothes, so they'll have a good sort out. Fleeces, hoodies, all of that sort of thing. I end up acquiring loads. I've had loads of cast-offs from my sister's husband, of all things, because my sister's smaller than me, he's bigger than her. I've had loads of cast-offs over the years, that's great, but really do I need that many? So again, I'll go through, and I'm still really mindful that we're heading into a really chilly time. So with all those things like hats, scarves, gloves, fleeces, all of that sort of stuff, if I don't need it, get it donated now, so that someone who does need it can get their hands on it now. Don't wait until March to do this. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with the swimsuits. Hopefully they'll tuck them away until next summer. But yeah, get on with it. Yeah, even if you're not really feeling like it, just keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And eventually we'll get there. And back to what I was saying right at the top of this video, of feeling a bit like, oh God, I'm just making more and more mess and more chaos. This is my bite at it today. Do those shelves. Have my repairs pile. I don't think there'll be much. Have my charity pile, have my sell pile. The charity pile, I'm going to take it down there this afternoon. I'm not going to wait. I want to feel, I need the psychological boost, if you like, of feeling like I'm progressing. And to do that, it would be lovely if by the end of this afternoon, this room is clear again and I can get on with wrapping up some more parcels. Yay! All right, lovelies, I will see you all again really soon. I don't know whether it'll be for the underbed tunk or something else. I'm dreading that. I'm really dreading it. But yeah, it's going to have to be done. Girding me loins. Anyway, that's for another day. I will see you again really soon, I hope. We might even get to the garden at some point, if the weather cheers up a bit. The sun's coming out. Whatever it is, wherever it is, I will see you then, and I continue to wish you luck in your clutter busting, your decluttering, your sorting, your clearing. Keep at it. Just to say very quickly, I can't ever shut up once I start. Just to say very quickly, I think one of the reasons why I was feeling a bit like, last night about it is, I'm doing this in quite a condensed time. That's my own fault. I've set my own goals. I've been trying to get this all done in, just sort of 3 or 4 days. Yes, I think it's perfectly doable. But I think just seeing piles mounting up has felt a little bit overwhelming for me. So I needed to have a little talk with myself to say it's going to be okay. Hopefully, if you're doing yours, you might be doing yours over a slightly longer time. So if you're doing your sorting and clearing on a Saturday, and then the rest of the week you're doing your normal activities, hopefully it won't feel quite so overwhelming. It'll take you longer that way. But yeah, I think maybe a couple of days hard at it, and then a couple of days to do something completely different. Take your mind off what that's going on, just get on with other stuff, and then come back to it with fresh eyes again. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right, lovelies, see you really soon. In the meantime, please look after yourselves. Look after your possessions while you have them. Look after them before you give them away. Yeah, just take care of you, them, us, everyone. Cheerio, lovelies.